Hey y'all! Welcome to Witty Witty Banter!
I'm Monica.
And I'm Paola, and today we are answering all of the burning questions.
Absolutely, yes. But before we do that, we always make sure on this episode, not just to talk about the weekend, but also a mental check. So, there's a lot of exciting things going on right now. Specifically, at the beginning of this episode, what you heard is Paola's new single.
I'm so excited. So yeah, good segue. I think my mental health right now is at an 8.5.
Right.
I'm definitely a lot more calm than I thought I would be. You know, putting something out there is very vulnerable and can be a little stressful.
Yeah.
But I think I just believe in this song so much. I believe in my people so much. I believe in myself so much that it's just like, yeah, this is only the beginning of the journey ahead. And like after the state fair and everything, like I been able to reset and like do the things that bring me joy. I like decorated a little pumpkin with flowers that are growing in my garden, you know, stuff like that. That just is like, I can slow down again, literally stop and smell the roses.
And like inhale, exhale, basically.
Yes, exactly. And so I think that I'm feeling really calm about this release because I've been able to like really dive in to me and be authentic and just be able to share this with the world and just being like, this is us, y'all. This is Sabor Puro and it's new light and people have been listening to it. So
it's great.
It literally just dropped yesterday at midnight or today at midnight.
And this is the first time you're hearing the podcast or seeing it. We record on Tuesdays, every Tuesday. So it dropped Sunday.
Or no, it dropped Tuesday.
Oh,
today, Tuesday.
Fuck it. I fucked it up. We're going to keep that in. Never mind. It dropped today.
So if you're listening to this on Thursday, it dropped Tuesday.
I get my weeks all mixed up, and that's okay.
Yes, the month of October has just been kind of like a little blur.
It's wild.
It's just crazy.
But this morning I messaged you and I was like, I listened to that song like 5 times and those harmonies, I was just dancing. I'm over here curling my hair and just...
You're about to go turn up the club on a Tuesday, the podcast booth on a Tuesday.
Pretty much. But it's a really good song. Yay, and tell them the name of the song and where they can find it.
Yes, of course. So it's Estrellas Brillantes, spelled E-Z instead of E-S. So EZTRELLAS, and then Brillantes, BRILLANTEZ. I'm like, have to visualize it.
She's gonna make a new song with the spelling.
And then there's a fun little story behind the title of the song. So when we originally started working on it, we had the title down as E-Z, E with the letter Z. And for the longest time, I thought that was going to be the name of the song, Easy. Like there's like a little ringtone at the beginning and, you know, little booty call.
Right.
I'm like, okay, we easy. I like that. But then when I performed it with my band at my mom's birthday party in August, my brother, shout out to Pablo, because he has a lot of opinions.
He sure does.
And I mean, he knows what he's talking about, though. You know, they be hidden. But he came up to our producers, Spencer and Ethan, and he was like, yo, why is the name Easy? Like, it doesn't make sense, you know, like, I don't get it. There's nothing that says easy in the song. And he basically convinced them to change the name to Estrellas Brillantes because that's part of the coro. And so like Estrellas Brillantes, Mi Fortuna. And they were like, actually, you know what? Yeah, that sounds cool. I like that. And so we snuck in the easy in the name because I wanted it. Okay.
She's like, I kept it, but my brother's right. Yeah. But I wanted to keep it anyways.
You know, that brother-sister love.
Yeah.
Like, we got to compromise somewhere. And so Felix was like, yeah, why don't we just put it like at the beginning, easy, and then we end it with the easy at the end. So that's like a little easy sandwich, Estrellas Brillantes. And you can find the song on all platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, YouTube Music, all the places. So make sure to check it out.
And we're going to go ahead and share it on the Instagram, on the story. So I've already shared it on my page. So if you go to my Instagram and Facebook pages, you'll see it in the story with a clip of it as well.
Yes.
But we will share it on Witty Witty Banter on all of our platforms.
Yes, for sure.
Yes.
And then I see you wearing your Taylor Swift
What?
Eras t-shirt, girl. Tell us about that.
What are you
Tell us
talking
about your
about? This is
weekend.
my normal shirt. No, so my family and I, we as well as my aunt and Josie, we all went to New Orleans to go watch the Taylor Swift Eras tour. I missed it when it was here in Arlington.
Mhm.
And there's a funny story behind it. It's funny to me, but it may not be funny to everyone.
I'll laugh. I'll give you the pity laugh.
Ha ha ha.
Ha.
So ultimately, when it was in town, my brother had been trying to get tickets.
Because
Like,
I know your
trying.
brother be on top of all them like badass concerts.
For real though, I mean, we've gotten to see so many amazing artists, and then for like the floor seating or for like really really good seating. But the thing is my brother gets to the point where he's like, I don't have to worry about anybody. I don't have to like pay, I mean, he pays rent at my parents and everything like that, but he doesn't have any other really, really big purchases that he gets other than concerts. That's his like passion. And so that's our thing. That's what we do. In fact, we're going to go see Tori Kelly this weekend.
Oh, dang.
You know what I mean?
Okay, period, brother.
So that's how me and my brother, we bond. We bond over music. We bond over concerts. And so the day that the concert happened in Arlington for the Eras tour, they got tickets. Like the day of.
Oh, damn.
And I was in Irving, Las Colinas, celebrating a friend of mine's birthday, and I had promised her the whole weekend I wasn't going to leave her. But I cried that night because they got to go and experienced it. And Taylor Swift is like one of my favorite artists. I've grown up listening to 18 years of her music.
Dang,
you know,
so true.
She was with me in the hard times. She was with me in, the times that I was in love. She wrote songs that definitely fit the categories of my life. So of course I was upset when I couldn't go, right?
Yeah.
And then last October, there was a lottery where you put in to get tickets to go, and this one was specifically for New Orleans. There was different lotteries all around.
What?
But this one was specifically for New Orleans, and he got them. And this trip was like a year in the making. Like, so I had, we had already planned this trip. This was something that we were going to do. We love New Orleans. We love the food, the music, everything, the atmosphere. So it was a lot of fun because it's one of the trips that we enjoy the most. But then going to see Taylor Swift and then like literally singing all of the songs.
Damn.
Literally,
Did you go down memory lane?
Pretty much. So, I mean, music is definitely one of those things where it brings you back to a time, and you either are like, damn, I was stupid for feeling this way, or I remember feeling this way. This also pertains to life now. It's just an awesome, like, experience. So, I mean, a lot of people, they're like, they love Taylor or they don't. But for me, I grew up with her.
Yeah.
So listening to some of the songs, I'm like, oh, like I remember that feeling. I remember that feeling.
Dude, but don't you feel so empowered after listening to like a song that like made you feel the way you felt back in the day, however you were feeling?
Yeah.
But then now you're like, damn, I'm still on my 2 feet. My head is still up high. I survived that era of my life.
For real. Like, no, for real. And so ultimately, I was laughing. I was having a good time. My childhood, my inner child, did some healing that night.
Aww.
And
okay,
so, you know what I'm saying?
Healing people out here. Period.
So ultimately, I just want to say thank you so much to my brother Joey, my parents, my mom, my dad, my tia Susie, and Josie for this trip. I mean, ultimately with them, like we all rode together. We're one of those, we're those family members that we get one room and we share it all together. We figure it out, when we did, and we had some really good times, and I got some friendship bracelets over here.
Did you make them or
No,
were they selling them?
They were actually, these people were just handing them out. When I tell you there was nothing but Swifties in New Orleans, dude.
Really?
Nothing but Swifties. And then every restaurant, they had like a theme. So it was pretty cool. Like they took over New Orleans. And yeah, it was incredible.
I
had a good time.
That's really cool.
So
Wait, is this where I laugh? Ha ha.
I guess it wasn't really that funny, right? No, but I think for me, I blamed myself a lot of the time because I was like, this friendship, like in all honesty, like I wish her the best and everything. I don't wish anything bad, but kind of towards the end of like that year, we weren't talking anymore.
Dang, yeah.
So after, the split, I was just like, well, damn, I could have done this, I could have done that. I could have spent time with family. I could, but at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it was kind of ironic in a way because a friendship wasn't there anymore, and I took for granted what my brother was trying to do. So in a sense, it's like irony. I
Yeah.
laugh at like the hard parts of my life.
I know you gotta handle it with humor sometimes.
Yeah, but I
Like,
mean, ultimately, God made that situation full circle. I still, she'll see me, I see her. We say our hellos. We, wish our families well,
mm-hmm.
and nothing but love.
Yeah, at
Nothing
the
but
end of
love.
the
But at the
day.
time, I was like, I cannot believe I gave up this opportunity. But
But full circle, you got the lottery to go see Taylor Swift in New Orleans. You got a whole experience with your family. So, that sounds like good karma to me. You did
yeah,
what was right in the moment by standing by your friend and celebrating her.
yeah,
And life has a way of telling you that's not where you need to be. And now
yeah.
you're here.
Yeah.
So,
And again, nothing but love. I wish her the best. She watches the podcast too, and
mm-hmm.
I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
But it took me a little bit. So, like I said, some healing, inner child healing, but also adulthood healing, cuz
Aww.
I actually got to do what I wanted to do in the first place.
Yes, dude. I know there's nothing better than like setting your boundaries and doing what you love to do.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you got the opportunity to do that. That's amazing.
Good weekend. Good
And how's your mental
weekend.
health?
My mental health is tired right now.
My mental health is out of the office.
She's like, she's taking a nap in the back of my brain right now. No, but I mean, thankfully, with big crowds of people, I do tend to get a little bit more anxietied out.
Mm,
This time around, I think I was so super comfortable because of the placement of where I was. I wasn't too bad in that. I didn't stay worried or fearful or whatever. So I would say for the most part, I'm in a good place today. I'm in a really
yay,
good place today. And I can't
good.
always say that on a
Yeah.
day-to-day basis. So
Yeah. No, and I mean, a lot of times we just have to take it day by day and see where life takes us.
mhm.
Sometimes it's minute by minute, and you just got to breathe through that minute, breathe through that hour, and everything gets better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming.
Pretty much.
Oh my gosh. Dude, a lot of exciting stuff happening, especially with Create
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Epic.
So that's going to be actually our first question.
Yeah.
And this isn't something that was submitted. It's been a lot of people over the weeks, over the past months,
Mm-hmm.
asking us, well, hey, what is Create Epic? What is it? How to be a part of it? What all is included? Things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to take this time and opportunity to tell y'all what Create Epic is all about.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it is a part of the Epic in Grand Prairie. That is the biggest pride and joy that we have. And if you don't know where the Epic is, it's right next to Epic Waters. I think a lot of people know Epic Waters a little bit more because you see
Yeah.
the indoor
The
water
water
park.
slides,
Yeah.
and then there's billboards everywhere
Yeah. No,
with
everybody sees the
Epic
water
water.
park. I mean, like I said, in every episode, we can see literally the water park right across the street. So it's the recreation center next door to it.
Mm-hmm.
And what a lot of people don't realize is that it's not just a recreation center. There's the podcast booth.
Dude, there is so much
Yeah.
to do here. Like, way more than I could have ever imagined a rec center having.
Yeah.
And I love that they incorporate a lot of the arts, visual arts, like audio and sound, recording music,
Yeah.
dancing. Yeah, it's super incredible in here.
It's cool. And then there's a lot of spaces upstairs too, because we're on the first floor. We're on the ground floor. Upstairs, they have a recording studio that I actually teach music lessons in.
Oh, and it's such a vibe with the
Yeah.
little lights.
Oh yeah,
the
they
drum
fixed it up
set.
real nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I teach music lessons in there, but you can also record in the recording studio. there are canvases and, easels.
Yeah, and pottery stations,
Yeah.
so you can do some pottery.
Yeah. So there's a lot of creative vibes that are upstairs as well as downstairs. Like I said, this is the podcast booth and it's right next to the entrance. So as soon as you walk in, this is where we are.
Yeah.
We also do a lot of events. We're also being a part of a lot of different events that go on in the Epic Theater.
Yeah, there's one pretty much every week.
Yeah.
So
And it's a monthly thing
it's
too.
a monthly thing. Once a week, you can experience different talents, different cultures, different genres of music.
Yeah. So I just found out also that our events are on the city calendar.
Amazing.
So, and that's a big deal because the city is definitely backing Create Epic. They want to see it succeed. They put a lot of money into the rec center so that it can be used,
Right.
And so we also have, the mayor's support, Mayor Ron Jensen, who was in the podcast booth not too long ago with us for an interview. And then we also have City Councilwoman Jacqueline Heaton,
Yes.
which we're going to interview
She's
pretty
gonna
soon.
be here in December, y'all. It's in the calendar. She's gonna be sitting here informing us on her journey as councilwoman and her background in the arts as well. So
yeah,
we're excited.
she's actually a visual artist, which is amazing. And she is the person over this district, which is where the Epic is currently. So yeah, a lot of exciting stuff. But yeah, let's talk about the events too, because those are really important. They're pretty much sporadic all throughout the month.
Because this facility actually holds a huge theater with like lights, a sound engineer, and tables and chairs and dance floor space too if you want it. It's much. Really cool, really nice in there.
So the schedule is, like I said, pretty much all throughout the month. The second Tuesday and the second Thursday, there are events. So the second Tuesday of the month is David Tribble's songwriting. I believe that's a monthly thing, though.
Yeah, it's a monthly thing.
And the second Thursday is La Peña, which Alejandro, if you remember him from our interview, he hosts, he puts together. It's really, really cool because he does different genres from different cultures. So he's Cubano, he's Cuban, but the last one he had was a mariachi show. And I actually got to be one of the judges for that show. And I'm very thankful for that opportunity. Even though I don't sing mariachi music, I enjoy it with my whole heart. But it was a lot of fun. Yeah. So second Tuesday is songwriting. Second Thursday is La Peña. And then
the third Wednesday, there's a spoken word, poetry, and open mic night
with Michael Quinn.
And then the Vibrant Rhythms, hosted by Monica Saldivar. And it's an amazing opportunity for up and coming artists to showcase their original songs or just showcase their talent. And we are scouting one lucky winner to perform in our fest that's happening in February.
Yes. It's ultimately, like I tell all the contestants, thankfully I host it, I don't judge it. Which Paola
I get
has.
that hard job of judging.
Yes. And I think I'm going to keep her as one of the judges because she's so positive and everything. But Paola has done judging for it. So has Alejandro. So has David, so ultimately I tell the people that are auditioning, don't look at it just for the competition. Right. Look at it as this is a stage with sound, with lights, fully functioning.
A very nice stage
at that. And use that opportunity to create content, to take pictures, to, I think the last time I was here, one of the contestants actually had a videographer videotaping him while he was performing. That is the smartest thing to do because ultimately you send that out in whatever way, in Linktree, and emails
on
and
your
everything
Instagram.
On your Instagram, TikTok. Create content. Don't just look at it as a competition. Look at it as this is an opportunity. I'm going to take as much advantage as I can of that opportunity.
Right.
So, yes, there's a competition. Yes, we're looking at a finale in December for the finalist that's going to be performing at our basically at our showcase in February. So, make sure you register. We'll make sure to put the flyer out there.
And the next show is
November 14th. So we took a break in October, mainly because there was just so many schedule conflicts, and I was doing a lot. We all were
We
doing a
were
lot.
doing a lot.
So yeah, so the next one is November 14th. Um, our finale is going to be in January, as I said. And then they get to perform in February. And the grand prize isn't just the performance, they actually get to record a single in the recording
In the
studio.
studio at the
Mm-hmm.
Epic.
Yes.
So
So big things coming up for sure. We're super excited because we also have a Christmas market and showcase
yes.
coming up too.
Yeah, Mark made a good point. He's like, yeah, all the last minute shoppers can come by and shop. I'm like, count me in.
Yes, I'm
I'm
ready
already
to.
gonna be here, so let me find, the last minute gifts.
And it's actually going to be inside too.
Yes.
So that one's also going to be inside. So is the one in February, which is a big deal because if you know in February, you don't even know if it's going to rain,
if it's gonna snow,
if it's going to be
if
sunny,
it's gonna be hot.
Yeah. So that was the big thing about having a actual
indoor festival, because that's really unheard of.
Really, yeah.
And we have the space, the capability of doing it here. And Create Epic is putting on a lot of these shows to bring awareness to this facility. We're putting on these festivals to bring together the community so that this can very much be that flourishing thing in Grand Prairie and what the officials envisioned it for Grand Prairie.
Absolutely. So if you would like any more information, want to be a part of any part of it, we're part of the advocacy team for Create Epic. We can answer any of your questions, but also Mark too. So we'll make sure to put our information here. And if y'all have any more questions about it, definitely submit them for your Burning Questions episode next time.
Yeah, definitely.
So
yeah. And we are going to segue now
to our theory update.
Yay! Because I know Theary has a lot going on.
Yes, he does.
So first, Theary, let us know what is happening this year, this senior semester, and then maybe give incoming freshmen some advice so that whenever they're seniors, they can take full advantage of their college career.
Okay. Hello.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
All right, perfect. Yeah, so this semester is probably the first time I've ever felt like overwhelmed. like so I just wrapped 2 short films.
Yay.
Literally like this weekend.
Dang.
So the first one was External Relations, the short film club one that I was director of photography for. We just finished shooting. Our crew was amazing. I made tons of connections. Super happy with the outcome. It obviously didn't go perfect. No shoot ever will.
Right.
There's a really funny story that we had like a dolly so we could have a moving camera shot.
Oh, okay.
And our dolly was a 1980 wheelchair. Our director took a picture of it. I'm gonna see if I can get that picture.
Yes,
I'm so serious. It was like literally just a wheelchair. So we and then we had a little mishap with our actress. She couldn't make it until like 5. Or she got off of work at 5 and then had to drive from Dallas to Denton.
Oh no!
So
At
she didn't
5.
get there until like 6:16.
Yeah.
And like literally we were watching the sun like set, knowing that we had to do an outside shot like
Dang.
immediately. And then the room we were shooting in had a bunch of windows, so we had to like try our best to recreate the natural light. So that's how things go. Shoots don't go perfect. So yeah, that happened, but it was really fun. I'm proud of the crew. I'm totally gonna try to keep doing that next semester. And then our other one, Strings, just got wrapped. So we just submitted it to the Denton Black Film Festival.
Nice.
Sending all the good vibes, y'all. Send the good vibes.
So I'm hoping we can get in. I was the camera operator on that one, among other things. I did a bunch of stuff.
Here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah. But yeah, so that just got wrapped. And so yeah, I'm excited. I have one more short film I think left this semester, and that is the Black Film Club short film, which is called Bad Hand, I believe, is what we're calling it.
Okay.
So yeah, more information on that to come. We haven't shot yet, but so it's like
Mm.
it's constant. It's constant, but I'm
Yes.
happy with everything.
Booked and blessed and
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah. And then of course, work is picking up. So I've got like, the 1 o'clock jazz band stuff is coming up.
Woo.
I have Afro Cuban Latin jazz
Ooh,
Oh my
this
nice.
gosh.
week. Actually, yeah.
Yay.
I was telling y'all about the presidential address, the UNT
Yeah.
presidential address.
We all got
I know. I was
excited.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
what?
Yeah. We're shooting that, so I'm gonna be gone that week, but we're gonna shoot that. So lots of
Amazing.
exciting stuff coming up. Very busy, but I'm excited to see everything that I've done this semester, like kind of get wrapped up and see where that
Yeah.
goes.
And just see it out in the world,
Yeah.
doing its thing.
As
Yeah.
for any advice, I made a list actually. Hold on.
He said rule number 1.
Yeah.
Be prepared.
Let's see. All right, perfect.
Be prepared.
So number 1 is get a campus job. So campus jobs like legally cannot schedule you during
Like,
class.
okay.
And then
True.
you also tend to be able to like call out and say like, oh, I have to do this thing, especially if it's school related. They're pretty
Mhm.
understanding about that kind of thing. So I would say get a campus job.
Okay.
Amen to that. I agree.
They're walking distance
Yeah.
typically from campus or like from your dorm, theoretically if you're a freshman. That's definitely the big help. I mean, for me, my campus job literally made my entire resume.
Yeah.
I've learned more there than I have like even in my major.
There you
So
go.
like
Dang.
I
Okay.
would like that is my number one big thing. Like if you need a job, get a campus job. Second one, use your student resources. Let me tell you,
Period, bro.
you're paying all that tuition for a reason, and there is so much stuff that I didn't even know we had. So let's see.
Okay.
I didn't know we could print for free. I didn't know. So
Bingo.
in my major, so I want to do like VFX, 3D modeling type stuff, like CGI type
Yeah,
stuff.
Nice.
But the industry software is called Maya, and it costs like $4,000 a year.
A year?
A year. Yeah. And so I was like, obviously, I
Oh,
can't.
shoot.
So we're
I
looking
can't
for
do that.
subscribers.
Yeah, I can't do that.
To fund this?
And it turns out that actually we've had that for free this entire time. Yeah.
Bro.
No clue. I didn't even know that. I found that out this
God.
year, and I was like, okay, well, so there's that. We have our Adobe subscription. I just texted our producer of the short film we just wrapped, the short film club one, because the actors we got, we had to pay like to post our casting call onto a website called Backstage.
Okay.
Just found out that we get that for free. Yeah. Yeah.
Gasps in Spanish.
Dios mío.
So yeah, that kind of stuff. It's like
Conundrum.
yeah. Make sure we have the career center. Free headshots, free career advising, all that kind of stuff. It's like no one knows about that stuff. Like
Did
you
you know
gotta.
about that when you were going to
No,
school?
I didn't know about the
Yeah,
free
exactly.
headshots. What the
Yeah,
heck?
exactly.
Do y'all do it for alumni?
I just found out that like there's a recording studio at UNT that like they're literally about to shut down because nobody uses it. Like no, they can't afford to keep having the guy work there because no one uses it.
True.
And so and that's
what
and
we're
it's
trying to avoid here.
yeah,
so.
free
I
for
mean, same
students.
thing.
So like please use your campus amenities. You're paying for them. There's tons of them.
Literally.
Please use them and look up what you have. That kind of stuff.
I like this.
Okay,
This is
yes,
good.
it's
yeah.
a good list. I like this list.
So 3, and this is like my biggest personal advice that I came up with. Like,
Ooh.
so I would say limit test yourself. Understand what you can and cannot do reasonably. So, for example, right, Spanish, I was horrid, right? Like, I was terrible. But I've maintained a 3.95 GPA because I knew that I sucked at Spanish.
Okay.
I knew that would take more time out of my day. I knew that those assignments took me forever. So I would slot more time in my week to do that.
There you go.
Okay, Theory.
Then you take like video adventure games, right? That class was so easy. And people will tell you, oh, that professor, he actually grades kind of hard. Well, I am good at writing. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay, well, these little writing assignments, I'll do it 2 hours before class, get my free 100, whatever, right? Because I knew that
He
I
said
could
my
do that.
300.
Yeah,
Okay,
like
period.
that's something that I know I'm comfortable doing. I've tested that works, so I put my all in immediately, see how much workload these classes are, and then I will decide
Dang.
what do I focus on, right?
Yes.
Like, do not spread yourself evenly if you don't need to, is basically
Mm.
that. 4,
Drrr.
join clubs, organizations, literally anything. Like, please, please, please. That is my biggest number one regret from freshman year.
Same.
I didn't join anything until
Same.
junior year, and
Dang.
all my connections, all my like closest friends, everything has come from joining
Right.
stuff, right? I mean, like even now, my opportunities, right? That's come from joining stuff.
Yep.
Um, so like the short film we just shot with Short Film Club, most of the people there are actually like freshmen, and they're getting to like sit here on this set where like there are people who know what they're doing, directors who are like seniors in advanced film who know
Mm-hmm.
what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
um, and they get all that experience as freshmen for free because they
Bro.
joined the club, right? So
Bro.
please join stuff. You get so many more opportunities, so many more friends, which segues into make connections. My fifth tip.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Especially if you're going into like arts or anything, but any industry, connections are very important.
Yes, it
I mean,
is.
connections are how I ended up here.
Yes, it
Like
is.
Yes.
literally, it was like I knew a
Exactly.
person that knew a person, and that's all it took.
And now he's
Mm.
stuck with us forever.
So
Ultimate
yeah,
plan.
make connections. That's a very important thing. Keep connections.
Yep.
Don't just, oh, I met this person in class and we really hit it off and then never talked again. Don't do that.
No.
Um, so for again, I keep going back to Short Film Club, but this is like the amalgam of all this stuff I'm saying to
Well,
do.
yeah, it's proof in the pudding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for that, we lost our production designer, which is like, for anyone who doesn't know, is like this director, assistant director, production designer, everyone else. Yeah. So like
Dang.
that is like that's a devastating thing to lose. But I was like, oh wait a minute. One of my closest friends is a production designer, and
There
that's
you
what she wants
go.
to do in the future. And I was like, hey Morgan, and just like that,
Let
we
me
got
call up
like
somebody real
the
fast.
best
Mhm.
production designer I've ever worked with, just like that, like out of nowhere. And
Yes.
so, and we stay in touch. We talk all the time. I've convinced her to join Short Film Club next go round. So hopefully we can be on the same
Yes.
project again. That kind of thing, right?
Amazing.
Um, Number 6, be confident.
Mm.
Everyone at college is going to learn, right? You
Right.
know, I
Right.
feel like a lot of times you feel this kind of imposter syndrome where it's like, oh, well, they care more about this topic than me. Like me, for example, I'm
Mm-hmm.
one of those film majors. I don't even watch that many movies. I don't even like, I don't, I came in, I feel like I didn't know the technical stuff. I felt like I didn't know these things. And then like, it wasn't until I think last year when I joined clubs, I saw where everyone else was at. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm good at this, right? And
Yeah.
just like that, that's what gave me the confidence to apply for being director of photography, to apply for all this stuff, to end up doing presidential addresses, is because I knew I was
Yes.
confident in my skills. I portrayed
Mm-hmm.
myself as that, and that's what led to more opportunities. Like, you're not going to get
Mm-hmm.
opportunities
Amen.
if you don't apply yourself
Right. If you don't put
and
yourself out there.
at least peacock it a little bit and say, no, I know
Right.
what I'm doing,
Yes.
that kind of thing. And finally, my last tip, just enjoy your freshman year while you
Yes.
still can.
Right.
Freshman year, you know, it, you're new there, you're doing core classes, you're not in your major, you have all the time in the world.
Amen.
Please enjoy that while you
Stop and smell the roses sometimes.
Yes.
please, because I decided to do all this stuff that I'm talking about later, and now I'm like, okay, I have all this work and I have these
Yeah.
like hard classes where they're making me do all these projects, and all this stuff is
Mm-hmm.
happening all at once because I didn't enjoy myself when I was a freshman, right? I just kind of sat around and
Yeah.
didn't apply myself. Also, bonus tip, take class registration seriously. That is not a
Yes.
joke.
Yeah.
My
Wake up when you need to wake up to get the classes
wake up,
that
set the
like
alarm for 7 a.m. You're gonna
yes.
live. All
Yes.
right, go back to sleep afterwards. That kind of goes into limit testing, right? Like if you know you are not a morning person, don't take an 8 a.m.
No.
8 a.m.s are the worst. Like, I don't know what it
I
is.
remember that.
You
I
know,
remember that my freshman
like
year.
I go to the gym at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and it's fine. But something about learning at 8 a.m. is just, that is not okay.
Yeah.
It's because
That
your
is
brain is not.
yeah.
It's not ready to wake up
No, it is
there.
not.
It's ready to wake up and lift some weights.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So please take class registration seriously. My worst semester is because I like sat there. I didn't register when I needed to. I had to get like the, leftover classes.
Dude.
And that semester I
So
felt like it was
annoying.
a waste. It didn't put me behind the curve, but I felt like I could have been ahead of the curve as opposed to like where I am now,
Yeah.
where I'm like, okay, I'm on track with everyone else. I could have been ahead had I taken the proper classes in that free semester I had, but
Yeah.
so yeah,
You live and you learn.
yeah.
Yes.
But again, I have no regrets. I'm happy with how I handled college. I think. Yeah. So yeah, that's my
Yeah. And
advice.
you got
That's
a
my
lot of
advice.
opportunities
Yeah.
as a senior now.
Hmm.
And so that's what
For
really
sure.
matters. It's
Yep.
like you are running out here
Yeah.
and you're taking names too.
Yeah. And that's, I think, is like the best advice that I've heard somebody say about
Yeah.
college,
Mm-hmm.
and how you're saying, utilize your resources, be confident, do the thing,
Dude, and
live,
that also applies to anybody at any stage of their life. Like there's a lot of public things that you can be using that are free, like your library.
Yes.
Like using your resources that your city gives you, like this amazing rec center.
Yes.
Like
come to the epic.
yeah.
come join.
Yeah. So it's like I think that advice can be applied
Everywhere.
everywhere. So amazing.
Yes, and that was your theory update question.
Yes. I know we need to have a little like
Da, 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 da.
all
It's gonna
righty.
happen. I'm gonna make it happen, but I don't know how to do it, but I'll make it happen.
Theory knows that.
Yes.
Not to put another thing
All
on
you're
your
gonna
plate.
see is his head just
It's like the Teletubby head.
Ding, ding, ding. Yes, pretty much. We're gonna make it happen though.
Oh, maybe for today it's like tips with theory.
Yes.
Because those were amazing. All right. The last and final question for today was actually a listener submitted question. So thank you to Joshua Jones for sending this in. Let me look it up real quick because I took a screenshot so I wouldn't forget the.
And as we've been saying, make sure to follow us on all social media.
Mhm.
Submit your questions. We are on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We have an email account, witty@gmail.com. You can reach out to me on Instagram. You can reach out to Paola on Instagram. Submit your questions. We want to hear from y'all.
Yes, please. And of course, let Theory know what you thought about his advice. And if you have any other questions for him, please let us know. All right, here we go. This says, did you ever see your life like this 5 to 10 years ago?
Ooh.
I know that was a deep question. I love deep questions. Do you want me to start or do you
Yes,
want
I want you to start because I got to think about my
I know,
my
for
answer.
real. I've had some time to think about it. And I think I've been thinking about this for a while now. I remember having a conversation with one of my ex coworkers at Thurgood Marshall. And I literally called him as soon as I found this journal because I was doing some deep cleaning. I was in that transitional phase of like, am I going to stay in education? Am I going to leave education? What am I going to do with my life? And I feel like I have a lot of these pivotal moments where I literally have to sit and think like, which direction am I going to take my life?
Yeah.
And so that was one of those moments. But back in 2019, I made a list of like what were the things that I wanted for my future. So 5 years ago, these are some of the things that I wrote down and have accomplished. And I'm saying this not to like show off that like, oh, I'm so great, I accomplished all of my goals. No, it is to encourage you to focus on the goals that you have, focus on your dream life, and apply yourself and write these things down, visualize these things, and put them into practice in your every single day life, because you are not going to wake up one day and be that spectacular person that you in your head think you can be.
Exactly.
Because if you can think it and you can believe it, you can be it. But you have to put in that practice and you have to put in the work. And I think for me, the first step is always writing it down. It's always thinking and meditating of like, okay, what is it that I really truly want out of my life? What is it that truly brings me happiness and joy? And then do what you need to do to make it happen. So all that to say that I found this little journal, and there's like things that are, physical things. There's things that are more on my healing journey. But one of them was buy a house, which me and my husband did back
Yes.
in 2021. So I was like, oh my gosh, I did that. That was number one on my list, and I did it. And then have a huge backyard because I love having gatherings. I love being out in nature, and my backyard is pretty big. It's not huge,
It's
but
really nice,
it is
though.
really nice, and it is the space that I have cultivated for myself. One that I haven't accomplished is go on tour with Sabor Puro, but I put a little smiley face next to it because it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Have an EP out. And I also put a little smiley face because I don't have an EP out, but then I'm going to scratch it out because it's going to be an album next year. So you know what? Something's just
on the right track.
Exactly. Traveled to Hawaii, Costa Rica, the Caribbean, and Europe. I went to Hawaii last two spring breaks ago, and then I went to Costa Rica this spring break.
Yes.
So it's just like, oh my gosh, all of these things are actually happening. I'll skip down the line, and it says, have boundaries. Because saying no was so freaking hard. But learning how to say no and learning how much you can take, what are your limits, what for me was the social battery. Like, I was willing to give so much of myself to so many people that I wasn't realizing that that was actually holding me back because I wasn't putting the energy where I needed to in order to accomplish my goals.
Absolutely.
So having boundaries is super important. Learn how to say no. Do yoga regularly. I still have a challenge with that and struggle with doing it consistently, but it is now a non-negotiable. So like, even if it's 5 minutes a day, I'm gonna do that. There's things that are like professional things for teaching, get ORF certified, which I did last summer before I left education, but I still have that certificate and I'm still certified.
It's
so
there.
I could
It's there
go
when
back.
you need it.
Exactly. Yeah, and so there's a few things on here that are still things that I try to do every single day. But it was just like a little encouraging thing for me to see that I did visualize all of these things because I forgot about this thing. I literally wrote it down, meditated on it, and then lost it. I don't even know. It was like in a box somewhere. And yeah, so just like really being focused and seeing that and visualizing what I wanted for my life 5 years ago and seeing it now in like real life. It's like, okay, maybe I did see this 5 years ago. But 10 years ago, I did not see myself here at all. Like 10 years ago, I was graduating, I guess, high school, going into college. And my plan for my life was to graduate UNT, become a teacher, marry the boyfriend that I had, and, start a family with him and do that whole thing. And thank God.
In the
Jesus
back of
looking
my
out.
head,
Jesus was looking out,
back
girl.
of my head, I was like, she ain't, and there's no way. Because I remember that one.
Terrible.
You know who you are.
You know who you are. Maybe, I don't know if you watch this. If you do, like, no, but I definitely had a different route for my life. But I always knew that I wanted to be happy. I always knew that I wanted to do something that I loved. And like I always say, teaching was always my passion. Performing was always my passion. And I was able to do both for 5 years straight and enjoyed every minute of it. It was hard. It was tough on my mental health, on my physical health. And now shifting my reality to becoming an artist full time and doing that and continuing to practice every single day to maintain those habits to make me go to the next level, know? So I think it's a yes and no answer for me. But yeah, I'm encouraging you guys.
Yes.
Go out there and get your dreams because everybody is capable of becoming who they want to become.
Exactly. You want me to answer this one? Yeah. Let's get a Theary
come on,
take
Theary.
on this
come on,
one.
Theary.
Yes, come on. Because I'm still trying to figure out mine. I'm like, oh God.
I came prepared. I have my little journal and
Yeah,
everything.
no.
Hello, testing. I'm gonna turn it a little down compared to last time because I was a little loud. I was
You
like,
were passionate.
Hey.
I hear myself
More
breathing.
passion, more feeling.
Okay, let me move the camera. Hold on.
He was like, well.
Let me tell you a little something about this song.
Okay.
Same
Oh my
question
God.
applies, Theory.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my God, that is dark.
I know it's getting cloudy out here.
Yeah. Was it that dark before? Jesus. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Remind me of the exact question.
So the exact question, I believe, was: did you envision your life like this 5 to 10 years ago?
No.
Yeah, right. The short answer.
Short
Yeah,
answer.
short answer. No. I used to want to be a geologist.
Wow.
Yeah, and now I can't even really tell you what a geologist does. But, no, I used to want to be a geologist. I still have a rock collection in my closet.
Tell me why I wanted to be a geologist.
Really? And it's cool, but at some point I realized I don't want to go outside. I was like, that doesn't sound fun.
I never wanted to be a geologist, by the way.
I also had a rock collection.
But yeah, so I want to be a geologist, and what actually happened is in 8th grade, which I don't even know how many. Wait, that'd be about almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Yeah, give or take. Yeah.
In 8th grade, the reason, no, 7th grade actually, the reason I ended up being, no, it was 8th grade. Sorry, I'm all over the place. The reason I ended up being interested in media is I did this science project, and I had to make a video for it, and I was like, wait, this is kind of fun.
Yeah.
So I applied for the arts and AV track at our Career Tech Academy at Mansfield ISD.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, just doing that for 3 years, I was like, okay, yeah, I guess I can go to college for this. There's one point I wanted to be a music major, also, and that didn't work out.
You tested the limits.
Yeah. Well, because what the true reasons what happened is I lost a lot of interest because during COVID, the all state, all region type stuff.
Bruh.
So, and listen, I know this sounds like a conspiracy. I know it sounds like, oh, you're just blaming. No, but listen, okay,
I'm all ears.
Yeah.
You know I love a good conspiracy.
Hear me out.
Phase 1, I got second chair. Okay.
Okay.
And I was like,
Okay,
cool.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Badass.
With which instrument?
Percussion.
Okay, there you
Okay,
go.
Yeah.
nice.
I was
So
like, just for the-
that's four different instruments I have to play. So
Yeah.
2 4 mallets on the marimba, and then snare and timpani. So phase
Alright.
2, I go from second chair to 18th, and this guy who barely scraped by into phase 2 magically is second chair. And incidentally, our letters were right next to each other, and so I was like, how is this freshman how did this freshman magically jump up 16 chairs, and I dropped 6?
There was a
And-
mistake.
Somebody switched
yeah,
the
and-
There was a glitch in the
somebody
matrix.
switched the tapes.
Yeah, and there was my, because it was recordings, right? So my not professor, my
your band
percussion director, yeah, he told me, he was like, yeah, go ahead and start learning the timpani stuff because you're gonna make area off of that, for sure. And so I don't think some malicious person swapped the scores or anything, because I've had my roommates had this happen where everyone in the room was like, oh, you did great, on his phase 1 you did great, and then when the results came out, this girl, again, letter right next to him, didn't finish her cuts even. She didn't even finish her cuts, but she made phase 2. And so obviously she didn't go because she couldn't even finish the cuts in phase 1, and he got last chair. Yeah. Yeah. And so this is something that happens.
He's calling y'all
Yeah,
out.
this happens. They mix up your scores all the time.
I
So,
believe it. I believe it. With choir too, I believe it.
Yeah.
Maybe
So,
that's why I didn't make area
There you
fat. I didn't make it all the way to state. Not gonna.
Yeah, so I was a little salty. And like
Heck
I just kind of lost like
But I'm not
interest.
doing this again.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm not doing this.
so
Like human
yeah,
error.
so
God damn it.
that's where I went into film or media arts. So and then also I wanted to be an editor. Not anymore.
Bro, editing is so hard and tedious. Oh,
Not
my
after everything we got to put him
God.
through.
No, it's not. It's totally not this. So I think the like very day I killed all the interest is it was that project with my production designer friend. It's where we met.
Oh.
So this is a little tea, I guess. So I think I told y'all
Where's
this
my
story
cup?
once. We had a useless group. Like
Yeah.
our director barely even showed up, barely even talked to us. He didn't show up to, and then our editor didn't show up to the pre-production, the production, and barely wanted to do the post-production.
Terrible.
Terrible. And so I had to like edit the whole thing.
Oh no.
So I shot. We did all that recording, all that planning, and then I had to edit it also. And like that day, I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this.
Throw the whole
anymore.
thing away.
Dang, yeah.
I was like,
Burn
I'm
it to
sick
the
of this.
ground.
So yeah.
Dang.
Theory is that one picture or that one meme of Elmo with the flames surrounding him. It's just-
Yeah.
The little girl looking at the house like
I could see it now. I could see it now. I wouldn't blame you though.
Yeah.
I
so,
wouldn't blame you though.
Yeah, no.
So anyways, now I'm like going kind of, I think the camera track, like the camera team track is more of where I'm headed.
okay, cool.
And more importantly, where I thought I would be like film this. I'm gonna go to Hollywood. I'm gonna be a big time cinematographer and
Aw,
director.
Theory.
No, I would honestly
so
rather.
like 10 years from now when you are in Hollywood and
Yeah,
you are a
yeah.
movie director, we're gonna ask you the same question and you're gonna be like, no, I didn't.
Well, what's interesting is I just talked about this in class yesterday. Actually, Hollywood is totally dead.
Yep.
Like, there's no job opportunities there. It's way too expensive, especially if you're trying to break into the industry.
Yeah,
Absolutely not. All these writers and these guilds, they're going on strike.
That's
They're trying to do this AI stuff. Writers, especially, there's like a blacklist of stuff that spans back to like the 1960s of like scripts
Yep.
that people wrote.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, scripts that people wrote for them, and like they have like backlogs of decades of stuff that they can still produce. There'll be original IPs, which, by the way, they're not even doing that because they're all focused on like reusing IPs and making new. Like, I think on the current like release list,
That's
I
messed
think
up.
like within the next 40 released movies, there's going to be like 3 original ideas or something, like single digit
believe
original ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
don't
I was
that.
like, that's not.
Bro, like all of
That
these
is
live
not-
Disney movies that are
Why are we
happening.
doing it?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Why are we doing
We
it?
don't need that. Like The Lion King, I'm not like,
Yeah.
it wasn't as like dramatic as like the
I
cartoon.
needed more.
I needed more.
I needed more.
And even though the little lions did look kind of real, it was cool. It was just like you can't like give me like the Simba energy through the CGI. It
Nope.
was just not.
Nope.
So yeah, I'm like so Dallas. Well, first off, or like the DFW area, North Texas, they're trying to break into the film industry. Which
Okay.
thank God I'm already here.
Yeah.
This place is about to get so
It's about to
expensive.
pop off.
We have, I think there's 3 film studios opening. There's one
Really?
in Mansfield, so like literally
Yeah.
10 minutes from here.
Yep.
Like down 360, 10 minutes
You have to
Wow.
take
away.
the toll away.
Yeah. There's one in Frisco.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those are confirmed. I think there's one opening. It's like a sound stage opening in Dallas.
Yep.
Wow.
All 3 of those are happening. So, and then DFW is very big on like advertisements. Like any ad you've ever seen, it's shot in Texas.
Yep.
Any ad you've ever seen, like they don't shoot ads. They're like, oh, it's LA. No, it's not.
You wish
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah, you wish it was.
Dang.
No one can afford that.
Nah.
Yeah. So, crazy stuff. And either way, I envisioned like this world where like, oh, filmmakers are like these 9 to 5. You work at a film studio. No, you're a
No.
freelancer. You
Pretty
don't,
much.
and you get these like waves of unemployment. So either way,
So you know what the struggle is with us.
yeah,
You're on
yeah,
you're on the
exactly,
train of starving
exactly,
artists.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
either way, I've been telling people this for a while, and I still love doing films. I'm totally gonna try to do it as like passion projects. Work on any films that I can find. I am not trying to go in the film industry anymore. And that,
Yeah.
I mean, I went to school to go to the film industry, and I'm like, you know what? I'm so good at like live event multicam.
Mhm.
I have a future in like news, event recording, audio. I have
There's
a
so much.
I have a
There's so
future
many other
there.
things.
Film is maybe not my jam anymore, and that's okay. That's what happens. That's what college is for, so you can learn that kind of
Amen.
thing.
Amen.
So yeah, 5 or 10 years ago, 4 years ago,
He was gonna be
2 years
deep.
ago. No, that's not where I thought I was going to be headed at all. Like it's that quick.
Yeah, no, anything can happen. Like 1 year can change your life
For sure.
significantly. So, Monica?
It's come back around. How the tables have turned, or the turntables. Okay, so 5 years ago, would I have seen my life where it is currently? Musically, yes. Musically, I could sit there and say, like, 5 years ago, this is where I wanted to be to begin with. I wanted to be at least in the running for the Grammys or the Latin Grammys, or even being a member. So yes, I would say I've worked really hard to establish myself as a award-winning artist. I've won 3 Tejano Music Awards, which is a big deal in the
It's huge.
in that specific industry, where Selena Quintanilla
Yes.
won her awards, Shelly Lares, Alida Reina, Stephanie
Mhm.
Montiel, people that I looked up to as I got into the industry, I am becoming a part of, which is crazy to me. And Mark was in here earlier and he was telling me, he was like, the first time I ever met you, like I was super starstruck. I'm like, why? I'm just me. So what I don't see is the part of me that everybody else gets to see when they don't know me, or whenever they see me as just the artist.
Mhm.
It's awesome. I feel really blessed to be in the position that I am. That's why I try to be as authentic as I can with my listeners, with my fans, with everything. Um, so musically, yes, musically, I've always seen myself in this position of at least having one or two of the awards. Never did I think I was going to get a third one, which, thank you guys.
Hey.
But ultimately, even being a consideration for a Latin Grammy
That's
was a big
huge.
deal. Now,
That
did
is
I get into the
huge.
nominations? No, and that's okay. Everything is about timing. God's timing is always perfect
Absolutely.
timing.
Period.
Was I a little heartbroken about it? Yes, but I mean, ultimately, it's because of how passionate I am about my music. And there's always next year, there's always going to
Mhm.
be a time to grow, and I think this is my growth period, big time.
Yeah, we're
'Cause
leveling up, girl.
yes, in a very, very slow but mature way of doing it. Yes,
Yeah, and organic too.
oh yeah,
So,
no, for sure. Personally, like personal life, 5 years ago, no, I wouldn't have seen me where I'm at today. Which is a big blessing for the people that understand why. I was
Mhm.
in a very different spot 5 years ago. I'm not going to say I was a terrible human being, because not too many people know the personalities that I had to deal with whenever I was in that part of my life, but I definitely wasn't the person that I am today. Um, I still loved everybody the same. I still cared about everybody the same, but I wasn't treating myself with love or taking care of myself. My health was in a very different state of mind or state of being, both physically, mentally. Um, my relationship with my family members was different. Um, we had a lot of struggles. We had a lot of like hard parts. But now I can honestly say, like, I love talking to my family. I love spending time with my family. I love the fact that they love the people that I do, you know?
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, 5 years ago, personally, it could go away. It could kick rocks, like inevitably. But 10 years ago, would I have seen myself in the same situation, personally and musically? Honestly, no. I don't think I would have gotten into the Tejano market. I think I would have still tried to have been a pop artist,
Mm-hmm.
but then I never would have found myself authentically in my culture. I don't think I would have been this version of myself. I don't think I would have been as proud of to be Latina as I am now. Am I a perfect Latina? No. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I still need to learn the language. There's so many things I still need to learn, how to cook, different parts of the culture. But I definitely wasn't in it 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I was definitely, my mindset was somewhere else. 10 years ago, I think I would have, like, just focused on, yes, if I would have made the music pop culturally, like English wise, awesome. But that market is so big, and it's
Mm-hmm.
so much, and there's too many people trying to attack it, that I would have been swallowed alive. In all honesty, there would have been no spot for me. There would have been, you know struggles even more so than there are now, because I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
do still
Everything,
struggle
yeah.
as artists, but there would have been more struggle to try to show people that I'm different, even though it's the same thing that everybody's trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have been swallowed alive. I probably would have quit music altogether if I really think about it, because I wouldn't have gotten the opportunity that I would have wanted. And I'm sorry, but and again, we talked about it on the first episode, how there's a positive perspective from you, the warmth and the light and everything, but for me, I'm always the type of person that, like, I think of the negative first. Worst case scenario first, and that's fine,
Mm-hmm.
because I think it balances out between the two of us. But I don't think I would have made it as an artist 10 years ago. I think I would have tried it, given up, and then just focused on being, which is fine too. Being married, having kids, that's a beautiful thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful life to have. But I don't think for me it was ever going to be in the cards just to do that. I
Mm-hmm.
think eventually I'm going to be like, well, okay, now it's time to settle down. Now it's time to have a family, but I'm still going to be on the road, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
So I have an amazing relationship that understands that. Um, I have a bonus child because of that relationship, and my family is healthy and thriving, and they're happy, and we travel together, and I still perform, and my band is in the middle of a reconstruction right now, but ultimately it's for the best and it's good things. So 10 years ago, no, I wouldn't have seen myself where I'm at today. 5 years ago, that's exactly the vision that I had for
Mm-hmm.
myself. So I hope that answered it.
Yes.
I'm sorry
Yes.
I took like a dive into negativity and then
No.
tried to come
Well, I
back.
mean, that's the reality.
Yeah.
Like, not everything in life is going to be pink and roses and
Mm-mm.
everything is rainbows and unicorns. No,
Yeah,
like,
no.
there are some dark times in there. I had to go through my nighttime in the shadows and grow as a person and heal through a lot of my childhood trauma to get to this point, to
Yeah,
be able to be grateful and stay humble and appreciate the people that are in your corner.
right. And I think
And
ultimately that's true. The trauma of everything. I I don't sugarcoat that part of my life because it did happen,
mm-hmm,
and ultimately a lot of people know my story, some people don't.
mm-hmm,
And it's one of those things that life is going to throw you different directions. You got to figure out where's up, down, left, right.
mm-hmm,
Sometimes you can't see what's in front of you,
right,
and sometimes you can see it perfectly, but not everybody else can.
mm-hmm,
So in my advice with looking at your life and planning it out, definitely how you were saying, write it down. I think the thing about me is I'll have periodic moments where I want to write things down. I can't write every single day, and I wish
mm-hmm,
I could, because that
yeah,
would be awesome. But I did, as I was moving. I found a journal entry from, like, I want to say 2020, 2021,
mm-hmm,
where I was literally in the pit of just being sad and depressed and asking God, like, literally in the journal entry, I'm praying
mm-hmm,
and asking God, please get me out of the situation that I'm in. Please get me to see where the light is. Show me people that are actually for me. Take away the people that are actually not necessary for my life.
Mm-hmm.
Make me, healthier, make me stronger, make me more observant. And I think that's been accomplished.
Yeah, amen. And sometimes you have to go through that fire
Hmm.
to be molded by God and be molded into your purpose and be molded into the person that you are going to be the most impactful to the world, because everybody has their own seed to plant.
Yep.
And you can't plant without the good soil, without the water, without the heat sometimes,
Yeah.
like it takes time. And I think that for both of us, we had to go through our own journey to get to this place.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of us, girl.
Yeah.
We are doing the damn
Woo! Healing.
thing. Yeah, healing. Yeah, seriously. Invest in your mental health, invest in your health, because like that's what's going to really take you to the next level of your life. And lead with kindness, lead with gratitude, and with love.
Yep.
Love you
Bye, guys. We
guys.
love you so
We love
much.
y'all. See you
Bye.
next week.